Hello, what is up, our yappers? It is time for talk with Rita and Ari.
Hey guys!
Literally, today we're talking about communication. Could be between family, partner, or friendship.
Yep. um, what should we start off with? Should we start with friends? You think?
Yeah, we should start with friends.
Okay. So friend conflicts. We've all had them. Okay, a friend disagrees or is just trying to rage bait you for no reason. Okay, we all hate that.
I hate rage baiting so much.
How do we know when something is a silly rage bait? Could be silly, could be annoying, or when it's a serious conflict. In my personal experience, I had this friend and we had a fight, and I confronted her and was like, yo, what's going on? And she flipped out on me. We are no longer friends, okay? I decided to take a step back, look at the situation from an outside perspective, get a couple of other outside perspectives, and I decided she's not a good friend. And I had other friends to go to, so that's an easy solution. But when you don't have friends to go to, it can be even scarier or even harder.
Because then you want to stay friends with them because you have no one else.
Yeah.
But sometimes in that situation, especially if the conflicts are often and you know they are not going to stop.
Or change.
Yeah, especially that. You just have to drop them. You can't stay friends with something like that. It's not good for you or your health. I think I know who you're talking about too.
You do know who I'm talking about.
Kind of funny. But when it sounds silly and sometimes you can't tell, because I've had my experiences where I can't tell and I get frustrated. Usually they'll be like, hey, I'm joking. Please don't be angry at me. I'm sorry.
Or even, if you can't tell, they'll say that. Or if you can tell, with me, you can usually tell if I'm being a weirdo and, rage baiting you. It's never serious.
Oh, yeah.
And if I feel they might have taken that the wrong way, I will always go back to you after and be like, yo, I'm sorry if that came off serious. I promise it wasn't.
But I know a certain person who, there's one day, he was like, did you not flush the toilet? And I was like, I swear I did. And he was like, I'm just kidding. And I'm like, you had me stressing really bad.
Yeah.
I took the world's largest poo, I'm not gonna lie. It was bad.
Rita.
So when he says that, I'm gonna stress.
Yeah, man. I don't have experience in that topic, but I get it, because sometimes you can't tell. And that's when you need to take the step back and be like, yo, what could they be meaning right now? Do you have any other different experiences?
I've had more silly ones than serious ones. I don't know if I've had a really big serious one. I had this one back before I moved here. I had this one friend. She I don't know, her family life was kind of weird, and she just not a very good influence on me. And you could tell, because before I met her, I was fine. And as she hung out with me, you could tell I was changing as a person. Not for good, but for worse. And when someone else pointed it out, I kind of clicked in my head and realized, I was like, hey, this is not good, and this is something I should probably either talk to them about or just can't stay with them. And after a little bit, I realized they're not really going to change unless they mature. So I had to drop the friendship, and I came back to myself. So that's probably one of my more serious ones.
And then, so we'll move on to family. And our commenter request was, why is it so hard to communicate with your parents And how do I communicate and how do I say it? Okay? So, in my personal experience, I was going through a really hard time. I made some really not great decisions. Things happened, okay? And I eventually just sat down with my parents and was super forward with them. And they finally kind of understood. Like, they still don't understand. I'm 18 now. This was back in middle school. And I still have those moments where, of course, we're going to fight. That's just how it is. We have differences of opinions. You know, you can never really get away from that. But I have found ways of saying what I mean. Like, if I disagree, I'm super forward about it. I'm like, hey, I really don't agree with that. Here's why I don't agree. You can do whatever you want, but I have my own opinion. And usually that works.
Yeah, I mean, it truly just depends, because if you don't say anything to them, not much is going to be done.
Yeah.
And with my situation, not the greatest. My situation kind of spiraled, and I got to the point where I had taken a trip for myself. Truly find myself, see some friends I haven't seen, see family, and I kind of realized when I came back home, this was not home, and I had to leave. So I left. And you know, that decision is really hard to make, but I told myself, this is a decision that I cannot just back out of. This is something that is in or out. I cannot just I can't stick my toes in it and be like, maybe. It has to be in or out. And I was in. And honestly, my mental health has been a lot better because of it, but it is still kind of hard thinking, well, I can't communicate with my parents. I can't have that relationship anymore. But honestly, since I did that, my relationship with my parents has been a lot better. That distance sometimes is just needed, and sometimes you just need to take a break from each other. Even if it seems hard, or like, maybe you'll think they're angry at you, but honestly, they could just miss you. It's hard, and yes, communication is very dire, but also is a break. Sometimes you just need a break.
Yep.
I'm dying. Anyways.
In my situation, my parents didn't understand a thing about mental health. Okay? And my parents are Gen Xers, and so they kind of grew up in the situation of, oh, that didn't really exist. You were either sad or you weren't type thing. And with me, I do have my own mental health struggles, as we both do. Okay?
Yep.
And I found ways to open up to my family without, like, saying more than I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if they would ask me, hey, why are you always downstairs in your room? I would say something like, I don't know, I'm kind of needing some time to myself. I've had a really long day. I've been around a lot of people. I just need some time to be on my own. And they would usually give me some space. And if they don't, then, well, I would say, hey, can we talk about this a little later when I'm in a better headspace? I don't want to make anybody mad. I just need some alone time. And then they'll get it. However, sometimes they won't back down. And a lot of people, in our lives at least, have decided either to, you know what, I'm going to drop it, or they don't. And we have a perfect example of this with one of our acquaintances now.
Yeah, we'll say that.
For me, she's an acquaintance. I can still talk to her. For you, she's a little more of a not friend anymore, I'm assuming?
I don't know. It's kind of like a maybe.
Okay.
We still talk. We still hang out maybe like once a blue moon.
Oh, yeah.
I don't really like
make an effort to do that.
Yeah.
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 Well, this friend of ours, she decided that she was going to do some not great stuff to someone else, and we called her on it. Multiple people called her on it, and she just wouldn't back down. And so we had to step back and decide, okay, well, is it worth it to continue pursuing this argument? Or is it just a lost cause at this point? And for me, I decided, you know what, I'm probably not going to talk to her as much, but I don't think it's a lost cause.
And I still continue to talk because I'm one of those people who are like, well, maybe they just couldn't figure it out. Maybe they have something going on. I'm one of those who tries to find a solution. And that kind of hurt me in the end. So unfortunately, I too had to kind of realize I had to back off too because it was not going anywhere with this person. It was one of those where you have to let them either figure it out or forget.
Yeah. Which always sucks. Also, she did have some things going on in her home life.
Which
we did take into account.
Mm-hmm.
It does affect a lot.
A lot.
Yeah. And then another thing is partners.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Some nights you have those.
Huh?
Some nights you just have those frustrations.
Oh,
and you
man.
Ooh, they just make you angry.
Oh, yeah. My thing that I wanted to touch on was why people say communication is key. It's always thrown around. Communication is key. It's the key to all problems, blah, 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 blah. But what does that mean to you?
Honestly, it could mean so many things.
Right?
Because in a simple term, you can put it as communication is key.
Yeah.
But if you really dig into it, it's when you're in a fight or you're both just ignoring each other, that's where communication could come in. Where one could apologize or the other can be like, hey, can we please stop? This is not getting us anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many things that you could do with communication. Or like, if one is out and the other is worrying about them, that's where communication is good. You could hit them up like, hey, I'm out doing blah, blah, blah with who or what.
Yeah.
I don't know what could be, but what?
Yeah, for me is I'm just always super straightforward. Like if my boyfriend did something and I'm a little annoyed about it, I'm gonna say, yo, I really didn't appreciate that you did that. Here's why. I always give a reason so that he can try to be a little bit better about it next time. Rage baiting comes in this.
Oh!
Yeah, my boyfriend decides it's funny to rage bait me. And instead of making me angry, it just makes me super depressed.
Same.
And so, that's fun. How do you break the ice in communication in relationships?
Well, I know for me, whenever I'm super frustrated, I will tell myself out loud, all right, I'm done. I need to take a moment. And I'll back off for a moment to let my hot head cool off because sometimes I get so angry I just... So I back off, I take a moment to breathe, and I come back and I'm like, hey, can we please talk? And I'll sit there, and if it was my fault, I apologize and I go, I was being rude or I was being wrong to you and that was not right of me. Can we please make up? Or if it was the other person's fault, I sit there and I'm like, hey, that was kind of mean or that was rude or can you please not do that again? You really just need to go up and state the problem and who or what or where or whatever it was.
All the W's.
Literally. It needs to be stated what went wrong and just talk it out.
Yeah. My thing, what I do with my boyfriend, is I communication was really lacking in the beginning of our relationship because we both came from relationships where I was in a long distance relationship and his girlfriend at the time it was kind of a situationship.
Yeah.
So that was lacking in communication.
Yeah.
And so we just kind of had to sit down and say, okay, well, what'll work and what won't work? What do we like? What don't we like? Stuff like that. Why don't people communicate?
Well, it could be kind of like what you said from past relationships. I would know with my boyfriend, his past situationship was no good. Ooh, we both know. She was horrible.
She was a piece of work.
Anyways.
Oh, man.
Yeah, no, it was bad. So he kind of learned to just shut himself down whenever it came time to communicate. And I just kind of learned you have to sit there and just keep bugging him. Like, hey, what's wrong? Hey, what's wrong? What's up? Hey, poopy head. Quit. And so he'll eventually, like, you know, talk and he's like, okay, this is wrong. And then it's like, okay, I can help you.
We can solve that. Once you say it, you can find a way to solve it or solve it for a time until a different, better solution comes along.
Yup.
For me, my boyfriend tends to just shut down. Like if something big goes wrong and he is super overwhelmed, he just stops.
Oof.
Which sucks. But also, you have to get in that brain, okay? To dig around in there and be like, okay, well, what's going on in his life right now? You have to think of family, you can think of stuff like that. Like, the last time he shut down was when someone broke into his garage.
Oh,
he just shut down. Like, he came over, he didn't say a word to me, and I was like, okay, that makes sense. What can I do to help? Sometimes you just don't communicate. Sometimes you just have to be quiet and let them come to you.
And sometimes you just gotta hold them.
Yeah.
And tell them it's okay. Even if you don't know the problem, just be there, comfort them.
Yeah.
I would know I had a hard time communicating because for some reason I always thought that I couldn't go to my own parents and tell them anything. I'd always feel like I'd be in the wrong or get yelled at. And I feel like partially that's my fault just because I'm like, well, because I'm a stinkerhead, whatever. I think that could have been more my thinking. Maybe like a couple experiences here and there that could have caused me. I know, like, a lot of ADHD people tend to fall into that part. Which,
me too.
Yay! Unfortunately, that is my problem. I've started to learn to get better about it. I still have my times where I refuse to communicate and just please get over it type of situation. But I don't know. Yeah, it depends.
Yeah. And continuing with the get over it, sometimes you just have to cool down. Like sometimes, like you said earlier, you're too mad about something to where you're gonna say something you're gonna regret, and it's not gonna be good. So for me, I usually don't have that horrible of a problem, but if I am having that problem, I'm gonna say, yo, I need to take a minute. You can either choose to be around me and not say anything, or to go somewhere else while I cool down. Because I don't want to say something I'm gonna regret.
Yeah, that's why I say out loud, I'm done. That is my moment of, you know, I'm not in it. I'm going to go ham, go crazy, go stupid. I'm gonna be crazy lady. So
You already are crazy lady.
I am crazy lady. I don't know what you're talking about. But we know.
Yeah.
I back off. I take a moment to chill. Take 5-10 minutes. Come back like, why I hurt you? why you hurt me? I'm sorry. I'm
Yeah.
a little acoustic. I'm bashful.
It's okay. Yeah. That's great.
Yay.
Yay.
I think we've pretty much almost covered everything.
I think so.
If there's anything else,
Comment it.
yappers could tell us what.
Also,
Comment it. We can respond.
Yeah, we can respond. Also, if y'all don't like being called yappers, let us know what you want us to call you.
We're just putting a label on it for now, just so we have something to call you viewers.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because viewers isn't
Sounds
right.
boring.
Yeah, it sounds boring. Okay, we need something not boring.
You can vote on that on Quotev. We can put the link in the description, so you guys can go find that and vote on what you want.
Yeah. Because we do not have any other platforms as of right now.
We will get there.
We just don't have a following yet.
Yeah.
Because we just posted our first 2 videos today. So,
I mean, you guys could tell us like where you might want to follow us, and we could probably make one a social.
Mm-hmm.
I think the last thing is sometimes we'll have a guest speaker on.
Yep.
That'll be fun because we can communicate and talk to them about what they want to talk about or what you people want. We'll have a third opinion.
Whoa! What? Crazy.
Oh, imagine we had a double guest. Ooh.
Oh my gosh, I would cry. That would be great.
Anyways,
there was one other thing that I wanted to say.
I
can't remember. Oh well.
Guess that'll have to be for next time.
Oh, comment. If
yeah.
you want a specific thing to talk about, then comment and let us know, please. We can come up with something. However, we are uncreative.
Yay.
I don't think that's a word, but we're not creative when it comes to coming up with ideas. So, yeah.
Anyways, like, subscribe, comment, and come on back, yappers. See you in the next one.